Listen to the Word of God here on The Word Exposed on Air. Only on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Rejoice, refresh, renew, and reflect. Join us for an hour of music that uplifts the soul. Listen to your favorite Jesuit music ministry artists. This is JMM Radio. Get your day's dose of inspirational music. Tune in to JMM Radio every Wednesday from 1 to 2 p.m. Only here on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM. Tara na't simulan ng inyong umaga sa mga magagandang refleksyon tungkol sa ating buhay at pananampalataya. Kasama sina Cardinal Luis Antonio Tagle ng Manila, Father J. Boy Gonzales at Father Nono Alfonso ng Kapisanan ni Jesus, Father Cali Llamado ng Manila Cathedral, at Binibining Risa Singson Kaupeng ng Light of Jesus Community dito sa Kapit Pandasal sa Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. Radyo Katipunan, News, Insights, Inspiration. Radyo Katipunan, down from the hill and down to the world. Radyo Katipunan, the voice of the Blue Eagle. The Jesuit Hour. Get to know the Jesuits. Discover their spirituality, their history, their ministries. The Jesuit Hour. Anything Jesuit, everything Jesuit. The Jesuit Hour.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear.
Do you long for a good spiritual read? Or for literature that not only feeds the mind, but nourishes the soul as well? Do you want to be inspired, feel positive and hopeful about life? Then read The Windhover, the official magazine of the Jesuits in the Philippines. Written by Jesuits and their lay partners, The Windhover features real stories about the Jesuits and their various ministries. Be inspired. Be blessed. Subscribe to The Windhover. For inquiries, call the Philippine Jesuit Aid Association at telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892. Once again, Philippine Jesuit Aid Association, telephone numbers 426-6001, locals 4890 or 4892.
Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng pera. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, katipunero sugo. Todo sa kayod, tulong at tulong. Ipag the Blue Eagle, galing hiting at tigil. Blue and white, one big fight. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, 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 katipunan. Radyo, katipunan. Radyo, katipunan.
We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates.
Jescom Music Ministry, your daily dose of inspiration. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Palalimin ang kamalayan sa mga isyong napapanahon. Makisangkot at makiisa kasama ang simbahang lingkod ng bayan. Ang Social-Political Apostolate ng Kapisanan ni Jesus. Ito ang Kwentuhang Bayan mula alas 11 ng umaga tuwing Biyernes dito lang sa Radyo-Katipunan 87.9 FM. Dahil naniniwala kami na posible ang isang mas mabuting lipunan at maaari itong simulan sa isang kwentuhan.
Get your daily dose of inspiration through our music. Follow Jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music in YouTube.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
And there was another drive-by shooting.
The fire we reported at Noel Ferrer Hall is still burning out.
Do you sometimes feel confused or lost in the complications and complexities of life? Do you feel drained, listless, or exhausted from the daily burdens and responsibilities? Why not seek our campus ministers on air every Tuesday from 2 to 3 in the afternoon? Listen to our counselors from the Loyola School's Campus Ministry Office as they ground our lives in our faith, in our school's spiritual tradition. Campus Ministers on Air. Be guided, be inspired, be blessed. Listen to our Campus Ministers on Air. Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. We are now on YouTube. Watch all of our live episodes plus exclusive content in our channel at Radyo Katipunan FM. Don't forget to click subscribe and hit the bell to get the latest updates.
Jesuit Music Ministry, your daily dose of inspiration. Follow jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. We are also on iTunes and Deezer.
Let us understand mental health and explore how we can take care of our emotional, psychological, and social well-being. Welcome to your weekly slice of mental health tips and tidbits with Pat and B here on Mind Ed.
Sa'yo sumisilong kapag ang puso ko'y pagod.
Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM. This is your stop for all things pop. Catch our all-around pop culture geek Chola Sediaren as he throws in some dose of what's poppin' and what's hot in the pop culture scene here on Popcorn. Munch in with us every Thursdays from 4 to 6, only here on Radyo Katipunan 87.9 FM.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan.
To listen to music that uplifts the soul, follow Jescom.ph on Spotify and Jescom Music on YouTube. Our music is also available on iTunes and Deezer.
Welcome to The Rundown, where we take you right into the action with the latest sports news, updates, game previews, breakdown, and analysis in, around, across, and beyond the Ateneo. And now, let's get ready to run down! Radyo Katipunan, 87.9 FM. Follow at Radyo Katipunan in our social media accounts on Facebook, Instagram, and on Twitter.
Live in all caps. Ito po si Lenny Robredo sumusuporta sa ating minamahal na multi-awarded multimedia guru Noel Ferrer sa kanyang pagle-level up. Kaya Ateneo, level up! Level up!
Happy victorious 3rd anniversary Radyo Katipunan, and congratulations to my very good friend Noel Ferrer of Level Up for all awards you have been receiving. It's such a great honor and privilege na mag-guest po sa inyong show last year. It was so much fun doing that interview considering that I was still grieving the loss of my mom and my beloved sister. It's really nice to talk to my good friend, kapatid na Noel. It's always a pleasure. Please take care of yourself and stay safe and healthy. Sa kahit na ano pong gagawin natin, kailangan po tayong mag-level up. Again, thank you very much. Thank you for your service, and God bless you more and more.
Happy 3rd anniversary sa Radyo Katipunan, at syempre, congratulations din kay Sir Noel ng Level Up. Thank you for always sharing the message of hope during these uncertain times, and I pray that you will always be a source of inspiration for your community. Once again, congratulations and happy 3rd anniversary.
Voice of the Blue Eagle, Radyo Katipunan 87.9.
Hello, ako po si Joey De Leon at ako po ay bumabati sa Radyo Katipunan sa kanilang anibersaryo. Kung nabubuhay lang si Bonifacio, tiyak sasabihin niya, so good, mga kapatid. So good, lalo na ang palatuntunan ni Noel, na level up. In English, level up. In Tagalog, kataas-taasang Radyo Katipunan. Congratulations, tandaan nyo, ang Radyo Katipunan, lalo na ang level up ni Noel. So good, mga kapatid.
The Voice of the Blue Eagle, Radyo Katipunan 87.9.
Sa Radyo Katipunan, happy 3rd anniversary po sa inyo. Thank you for connecting us with one another during these difficult times. Pati kay Sir Noel ng Level Up, congratulations din po sa inyo. Thank you for bringing to us stories of inspiration and stories of excellence. Ako po si Vico Soto na nagsasabing basta't sama-sama tayo, patuloy na umaagos ang pag-asa at patuloy tayong mag-level up.
The Voice of the Blue Eagle, Radyo Katipunan 87.9.
Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, 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 Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. The Voice of the Blue Eagle, kami di mapipigil sa pagbabalitang tumpak at tama. Buhay Atenista, sa loob sa labas ng eskwela, ating ibibida lahat ng eskwela. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Radyo, Katipunan. Kawal ni Ignacio, Katipunero sugo, todo sa kayod, punong at puno. Lipad na Blue Eagle, galing, hiting at tigil, Blue and white.
Kaps, mga Atenista, it's time to level up! Your talk variety program showcasing the best in media and other fields. As we feature the most loved personalities and the best practices of what we truly refer to as Magis. Together with multi-awarded multimedia guru Mr. Noel Ferrer, let's all level up every Fridays from 3 to 6 p.m. here on radyo-katipunan 87.9 FM.
Paulit-ulit kang nagplano. Paulit-ulit ngunit lagi din naman nababago.
Yes, good afternoon everyone. It took time before I can mount this episode. Truth be told, I wanted this to be our Mother's Day episode, but because you see, the guests now are really so busy at talagang mukha naman talaga silang mga hot mamas. We had to forgo kasi sa lockdown, kala nyo nagpapahinga lang sila, hindi. Sobrang busy nitong dalawang to. At hanggang this weekend, I think yung isa dito may gagawin na nagmamaneho pa siya or nakita ko yung ad niya. So anyway, ngayon, parang pang-start na lang sila ng Ignition Year celebration. So, kaiba, Ignacia talaga yung tawag natin sa kanila. So, learning from the best in Ateneo, when you work with the best, half of your work is done. And in media, ganun ako. I choose the people na gusto kong makatrabaho kasi kung komportable ka, well, we worked in a show named Breakfast. So, yung kung umaga, pangit agad yung kasama mo at di mo kasundo, mahirap yon, mahirap kayong tumagal. So, medyo tribal or medyo parochial sasabihin, pero somehow when you work with people na pareho yung pinanghahawakan yung values, pinanghahawakan yung background din at yung vision of society, siguro yon mas madali at mas magaan kasama, no? So here are two family members. If we have to decide our family members, yun, kasama tong pamilya na na-miss ko kasi pag nag-gathering kami, sinasabi nila taga-South sila at mahirap maghanap ng common time or common place na magkita-kita tayo. But since we're on Zoom now, tawa tayo ng tawa, here are two of the mga, ito tawag nila, it girls during their batch. Pero ngayon, mga hot mamas na. So yun, tawa ng tawa yung isa dyan, si Patty Laurel. Patty, hello, good afternoon. And Nikki Hill, hello, good afternoon.
Hey, Noel! Hello, everyone!
I sincerely miss you. So, pag nanonood kayo dyan, well, ito, parang just eavesdrop sa pag-uusapan ho namin. Learn a lot of like good things and inspiring things dito sa dalawa. Pwede nyong ilagay sa comment section. Try naming sagutin. Pero yon, yung process nito talagang mag-updatean lang kami at titignan ko anong nangyayari sa bawat isa. So Patty, can you tell them anong course, anong year, course, year, at saka
ID number
sa Ateneo. Yun, siguro.
Parang year.
Well, first of all, hi Noel. Thank you so much for having me and Nikki, and of course to everyone watching. Hello as well.
Yeah, back sa Ateneo kahit wala sa campus.
Di ba? Parang imaginary, we're all together in campus. So maganda rin to get together with everyone watching. Well, for me, I graduated AB Communications. Pumasok ako ng 2000.
Okay, at least.
Parang nung hininga ko yung 2000.
2000 and then.
So may 21-year-old na ngayon.
Wow.
Nung pumasok ako ng college, there is a 21-year-old somewhere.
And then, orgs in college.
Okay, so you know what? I was just thinking about it before starting this interview. I was like, the one thing na talagang pinagsisisihan ko was not getting involved in all the orgs. Because I guess like Nikki din, I started working kasi at 18, second year college.
So, na hindi mo naman kailangan magtrabaho, ikaw naman. Pero
because of that, hindi ako parang FOMO. Missing out talaga ako in the biggest chunk of college, which is, di ba, being a part of your org, making networking, and making friendships. So, yun yung talagang palagi pag tinatanong sa akin, yun yung one thing that I really missed out on because I only joined ACOM which is our home org, of course.
Kayo rin lang
And
yun, di ba?
the other orgs, I would, get in and out, but not as committed dahil nga nagtatrabaho na ako at second year. And I'm sure si Nikki ganyan.
You said the word. May problema sa pag-commit. Hindi naman yata ikaw yung may problema sa pag-commit.
Hindi, pero yun yung na-miss out ko. So
org life, yung Next, ikaw, Gil.
Yes.
Gil is year what and what course?
I finished 09.
Okay.
And I finished AB English Lit. Pero nag-start ako sa MECO.
Oh, okay.
So my first year, MECO, and then I shifted to English Lit. Kasi nga, like Patty, that's when I started working.
That's
Then I needed a course na parang medyo mas flexible, yung kaya kong dalhin yung work with me.
Yes.
And so yeah, it was, I finished in 5 years.
Little did you know that MECO can help you and DJ in your business. Siguro may ganung background.
I know! I should have pursued. Pero nag-work din naman yung English Lit pag nag-aaway kami. Parang mas convincing yung mga argument ko. Diba? Ang intellectual ng mga argument ko. Pwede ako mag-quote ng mga kung sino-sino.
Let's start with the Ateneo entrance exam. You're talking about the words, diba? One of the hardest entrance exams. So yung vocabulary words na feeling mo, mali talaga, 75 words in 15 seconds. Ganun ba yun? Or 15 minutes? Parang ganun yung time limit. So, how did you feel when you took the asset? Yung asset, yeah. Go, kayo. Experience.
Yes, Patty. Ako. Asset, sige. How did I... Very nervous because...
What were your choices then?
My choices then were really a pre-law course. Because nga, once upon a time, nag-ambisyon maging abogado. Yes.
Okay.
So, that was, parang all my choices were pre-law courses.
Okay.
And then, as a kid, because my dad went to Ateneo, my dad finished from Ateneo, my mom went to Ateneo de Davao. So parang it was always like the one school that I needed to get into.
So walang COVID. Alam mo kung bakit? May taste. May taste ang parents ko.
Malinaw. Di na kailangan mag-test.
Okay, game. So, yun pala yun. So, destined na mag-Ateneo. Ikaw, Patty, anong mga schools yung kinuhanan mo ng exam?
Actually, the same. My parents wanted Ateneo lang talaga. And I was studying in De La Salle Zobel for high school. So, can you imagine? Yung barkada ko, teenager ako. So, syempre, yung barkada ko, lahat Lasal, di ba? So, may idea na ako kung sino ka barkada ko sa Lasal.
Ang ganda!
So, parang in my head, I was already, set for Lasal. But my same as Nikki, my dad went to Ateneo College and then Ateneo Law, and he became a law professor pa in Ateneo. So talaga hardcore.
Pero labag ba sa loob mo yun? Labag sa loob mo na mag-Ateneo ka? Or talagang parang, pero ito hindi Zoom education. Ito talaga from the South, pupuntahan niyo talaga sa Loyola.
Yes. I mean, I'll admit, for me, the first, as a teenager, I was thinking, friends, yung mga very ganun yung, I really was just thinking, sana ko komportable. But I guess for my dad, honestly, first, because talagang heart niya talaga ng Ateneo. I remember when we were young, we live super far, diba? So on Sundays na walang traffic, bata pa kami, dinadrive niya kami to Katipunan.
Oh my God.
Just to tour.
Brainwashing na.
Yung mga mga moms, I bet gagawin niyo yun yan.
Conditioning, syempre.
Nagtutouring kami sa kotse namin, tapos sinishare niya yung mga memories niya. Yung moment na na-feel niya na chosen siya.
Para wala kang choice. Para wala kang choice. So, when you got the results, wala na iba. So, you took the LaSalle exam also?
Yes, I did. LaSalle, UP, Ateneo. And
aminin mo, Patty, madali yung LaSalle exam, ha?
Mahirap din! No, mahirap din, Noel.
Talaga, pero hindi talaga. Ang UP kasi mahirap kasi right minus wrong.
Kasi Tagalog. And Tagalog yung math.
Oo, rin. Pero at least napasa natin yung lahat. I took an
True.
echo course in UP. Tas yun, quote a course. Pero sabi ko, iba kasi yung halina ng Ateneo. You know why? Because it seems like our parents are more secure sending us to Ateneo. Kasi feeling nila may extension ng pagnananay at pagtatatay nila. Kasi in the other school,
Totoo naman.
alone. No? So yun yung ano.
Yeah.
So that was the context of why we got to this school. No? So when you got to Ateneo, what kind of student were you? Were you diligent or were you okay lang? Anong klase?
I don't know if Patty experienced the same thing. Kasi in high school, I was very as in all ACADS, like very academic.
Yes.
Okay.
Push for valedictorian,
Good.
didn't settle for less. So when I got into Ateneo, parang I was expecting, to perform. But I have never felt dumber.
Pero
in my
humbling,
life.
diba? Humbling
That's
talaga yung
exactly
people.
Very humbling. I have never felt dumber. It's like everyone just understood what was going on and ako laging consistent lang ako lost. Ano na nangyayari? Kahit sa harap ako umupo, that matters. Sa harap, front row, or sa likod, lost ako.
Exactly. The same.
Go.
With Nikki. Like, nung grade school, high school, sobrang nerd ko. Like, I just, studying was like part of breathing. Like, we were just talking about it. Like, we're so motivated as young kids.
Yes.
And then when I got to Ateneo, naalala ko na parang, yun, exactly, like, everyone is 10 times smarter.
Yeah.
Everyone is 10 times more prepared.
Yes.
And hindi lang yun, parang sa kanila, natural. Parang walang...
Tayo nag-effort.
Parang ako, I'd always feel like I would have to work 10 times harder than everyone because they're just naturally intelligent. And hindi lang and the one thing I always tell my dad, yung parang yung Atenean, EQ tsaka IQ.
That's
yung
true.
mataas ang IQ, but personality-wise, they were so confident, so comfortable. Yung parang walang, di ba, walang nag-give up na
Ano yung effect sa'yo, Pat? So, did ang effect ba sa'yo parang, okay, I'll just enjoy this? Ganun ba yung ano? Kasi meron iba, ganun na yung path nila. Sige, I will pass my course, pero mag-enjoy na lang ako.
Well, for me, I think it was half-half. Like, for me, I gave it my all because I guess for me, I was at that mindset na my parents really, worked so hard. Because I came from a working class family. My dad is, talagang...
But you'll end up being like your parents eventually.
But yung parang, I just wanted to, give it my 100%. But at the same time, there was also that reality check na parang I couldn't be number one here. So I might as just be grateful. Like, I just honestly felt so grateful that I'm here. Parang, every day it's like, there are thousands of Filipinos who would want to be in this chair where I'm at. So parang kung sayangin ko, parang it would be such a waste. So parang, yes, I did not, hindi ako number one sa class. But at least masasabi ko yung heart ko parang gagalingan ko.
Correct. Kasi navigate mo na yung kung ano yung gusto mo naman. Di ba, yun iba yung dreams mo, but in a sense, like Nikki, for example, siguro, navigate mo na kung ano, saan ba ako mag-excel, given na meron ka ring context na kakaiba. You said work was starting to come in. So, paano mo in-address yun, Nix? Yung the reality of your being a student at the same time, merong ibang opportunities na dumarating.
Well, like Patty, I agree. It's like getting in is, you're just so grateful to have gotten in.
True,
but staying is another story.
UPI.
So parang...
UPI! Stress yun.
Parang... And I had a scare na probation ako at one point. And my dad was like, parang the next time you fail a class, you're done with showbiz. Like, I got that threat. And even if he actually didn't have to threaten me, because even for myself, parang if I felt like, my education was being parang nako-compromise na yung quality ng work ko in school, then if I really had to pick, I would have picked talaga to finish
Iba,
To
no?
just be a student full-time. So,
Let's talk about
yeah,
the
iba
other
talaga to
work
stay.
later. Let's talk about the other work later. But oo nga, nakaka-apekto yan talaga dun sa reality ng pagiging estudyante. But as a student, tinanong ko kung diligent kayo. So okay lang, no? Studios, okay, chill lang, cool lang kayo. Hindi naman kayo yung nerd library. Saan yung tambayan nyo nun pala? Go.
Library.
Library. Pero
Ako
nagpapalamig.
din, library, third floor to be
Aircon.
specific.
Nag-aircon.
At saka malinis yung CR. Kasi walang tao.
May taho pa kasi sa amin.
Meron ba?
Talaga.
Hindi ko naabutan yan.
Saan kayo kumakain?
Sorbetes.
Saan kayo kumakain? Kasi it matters.
Calf up.
Di ba? Yun, sa cafeteria. Tapos, yun, at a certain point, people would like serve kung may mahabang vacant periods, di ba? Yung lahat ng mga kainan sa labas ng Ateneo. Na-try nyo naman yung mga ganon. Na lumalabas during break. Okay.
Ano nga ba yung mga nasa, may shakies, ice cream,
of course,
ice cream bar.
Yung sweet inspiration din.
Sweet inspiration.
Oh my gosh, yes. And old spaghetti house.
Old spaghetti house. Correct. Naputin nyo ba yung Bun on the Run? Hindi na yata. Dimart?
Hindi.
Dimart.
Hindi
na rin yung pizza. Saan kayo nagpunta pa? Nasa labas ng Ateneo.
Sa labas?
Oo.
Or dun sa National Bookstore doon.
Actually, yung happiness ko when I would be so stressed for an exam, would be to walk around National Bookstore.
Sorry naman yun. Ang laki kasi.
Just be alone in the aisles. And yun yung happiness ko. Tapos parang stress ako, pupunta lang National Bookstore, like that. Or kakain lang ako ng... Kasi syempre, on an allowance pa kami. So,
Pero pag may extra budget, tapos feeling mong magmaganda, Starbucks, doon ka mag-important mag-study.
Kailangan makita ng mga tao na nasa Starbucks ka.
Tapos yung drink mo, papatagalin mo siya ng mga 2 hours.
Yung drink ko sa Starbucks, tubig lang, tapos may brown sugar.
Correct.
I remember si Jaja Padilla, dinala ko sa Ateneo kasi si Ariel nandun, no? So, pinunta ko sa CAF. Di ba yung mga milkshakes natin, yung mga fruit shake, sabi niya, oh, Noel, okay to ha, pero ang daming sugar. Sabi ni Jaja.
Sana sinabi mo, Miss Z, pang pagising niya ng mga estudyante. Lahat kasi po yan.
Diba?
Pero ano yung favorite nyo sa cafeteria?
Oh, okay. Natatawa ako. Howflakes.
Alin?
Howflakes? Oh, talaga?
Sa dulo, may nagbebenta ng mga Chinese goods yung time ko. So there was like a kiosk that sold howflakes and then palitaw. And I would be there every day. And then, especially pag exams na medyo stressed, parang puro unraveled na howflakes ko. Yung parang naka 100 na ako kasi nag-aaral ako. Kailangan na howflakes.
Ang galing.
Tapos nanginginig ka na sa sugar.
Turon yung ano ko talaga dun sa cafeteria, yung ending mo turon. Yung tipang ganun pag afternoon. So, any other memories sa cafeteria natin? Kasi ngayon nag-expand na, di ba? May second floor dun sa Gonzaga Hall.
Oo, sa taas, okay din dun.
Tapos may co-op na sila, na sarili nila yung mga students.
Wala nga ako ng co-op na.
Ayun.
Yung JG Som, the Som Mall. There you go. Ayun, naabutan ko yun.
Yung mga entrepreneurs, di ba? Yung mga classes.
Masarap din doon.
Actually, I remember how the CAF was also very strategic, like back in the day. Like you'd know what type of people, like even if you don't want to give
correct.
I mean, now we can't really give stereotypes. But back in the day, if I'm just being honest, like, dyan ka nakaupo or dito ka nakatambay, may mga So I would always be, I remember like, parang my first time as a freshman, I had no idea about this whole, system. And I was just so wide-eyed and I was just sitting, randomly and someone told me like, oh, you can't just sit there.
May culture, di ba? Oo.
But, sometimes you think about it and it's funny now, di ba? Parang as adults. But at the same time, it was actually very interesting. Parang if you think about it, like parang if you could just see the quad
Totoo.
Parang,
Ba't ibang klaseng tao?
it's just so interesting na parang may little city of different
You see, napansin nyo ba na yung pinakamaporma sa campus, yun yung mga freshmen? Hindi ba yung tipong...
Siyempre.
wala na.
First
Ganun,
impression
dinaanan nyo rin
eh.
yan. Dinaanan nyo rin. Yung tipong
Ang
kailangan...
naabutan ko,
Okay,
yung
go.
pwede pa mag-Havaianas.
Okay. Oo naman.
Oo, and then naabutan ko rin na binan yun. Kasi all the students were just in flip-flops. Sobrang casual.
Paano kung nasa dorm ka, no? Well, ano ba yun? Hindi ba?
Basta naabutan ko yung nauso siya
Pinagbawa.
tapos binan nila.
Nako, siguro kung ngayon mo gagawin yan, nag-rally na yung mga estudyante.
True.
Oh,
Ako naman, because I was in the ComDep the whole time.
Yeah.
Ang
Naku,
tawag
kayo
sa
doon
amin,
natutulog.
Taiwan. Parang kami Taiwan. Kasi pupunta kami sa mainland China. Tapos Taiwan yung ComDep. Kasi we would be just like a small island.
Totoo bang haunted ang ComDep?
Oo rin. Totoo. Meron ng oo. Kasi di ba ang daming natutulog doon, di ba? Because of our projects. I was a philo major but I took my master's in comm and then really doon yung mga tao talagang doon na talaga ginagawa yung mga projects. Tapos may masarap pa tayong kainan, yung katapat lang si Manang's, di ba? Sa Albert Court, di ba?
Yes.
So,
doon
yun
talaga
na
ako
naman
inihaw na baboy.
Love Manang's.
Yeah, so those are our memories of like the cafeteria, our departments. Now we talk about favorite subject. What subjects like stuck with you? Kasi sometimes, our major courses talaga grabe yung tama sa atin, no? Pero meron talaga magsi-stick out na alam mong hanggang after college or may ganun ba kayong teachers, no, na binabalikan niyo? Na kinakausap niyo?
For me, I love the class of Gad Lim. He was a history teacher. And ako kasi, I grew up like, I'm really a history geek. Like, I love history. Like, and so when I enrolled in his class, parang, finally someone who's like so kilig, like about history. Like, I felt like he just genuinely enjoyed his job so much. Like, parang, he found this perfect job to tell young kids about how history is so interesting and important. So parang I never felt like it was a class. Like it was really like something that impacted me. So,
but were you drawn to, kasi may mga tao na drawn to terror teachers during that time. Pero changing of the guards na yata yung sa inyo eh. Parang kasi meron yung iba drawn to yung mga strict teachers kasi mas lalong natututo. Pero yung generation yata natin, slowly yung parang mas nagiging kaibigan mo, mas nagiging receptive ka dun sa mga tinuturo. Nick, ikaw, what were
parang mentor relationship, no?
Yes.
Although I mean, there's that novelty of enrolling under like Father Dakanay, say. So you can say, diba, na I took Father Dakanay, diba? But I mean, teachers that like I'm still in touch with. Kasi you're right, Noel. Parang for me, there's more value to having that student-mentor relationship.
That's true.
Because it's extended to, like, to this day, I'm in touch with Sir D.M. Reyes or Glenn Mas.
Sa batch ko yan. O si Danny.
Yes!
Iba.
Parang, I appreciated their classes because more than the actual, the literature that we discussed, parang I felt like how you think, and how you process information and how you express your thoughts, parang dun na develop.
Ang galing. You know what? Kasi it's really not what you learn. No? Kasi pwede natin mabasa yan sa books. Pero it's really yung preparedness natin to analyze things, the framework.
Correct. Yes.
Diba parang yan yung ma-appreciate ng teachers na okay, hindi libro, kundi tuturo niya sa'yo kung paano ka mag-isip.
Paano mag-isip, exactly.
So, and when we go to our world in media, for example, the process is not much appreciated. Aminin natin kasi napaka-output-oriented dun sa field na yon.
Yes.
So, now when we look back, yung value talaga natin siguro, and what sets us apart would be yung framework ng pag-iisip. Hindi simple. Hindi simple talaga. Hindi black and white. Sabihin mo, okay yan. Kaya naiinis natin yung mga kausap natin kasi sasabihin natin, okay yan kung ganito. May qualifiers tayo talaga. So, you ever experienced that?
For me, I was just thinking about it. I had a really beautiful experience na parang nag-full circle because I had two teachers who I until now really am grateful that I was under them. I have Sir
Sino?
Mark Escaler.
Ay, nako, mahal ko rin
of
yan. Philo Major na nag-com.
He is like a genius. But
Okay.
what I loved about him is that he was able to explain like really theoretical concepts in a way that was very tangible.
Totoo
And
yan.
you know, as a 17 or 18-year-old, that is so huge. Yung parang for him to actually dissect it in words na parang you could actually touch. So parang it really helped me like understand the value of media and communication. Parang I felt like, okay, this is a place where I could actually thrive because he really dissected it in a way I could understand. And then eventually there was a time that I actually taught in Ateneo in the ComDep as well, and siya yung dean. And so
siya yung chair.
Oh, yes, chair.
Chair.
Yes. So I was actually like presenting like all my lesson
Pero
plans.
teacher mo, kilala
So
ka
parang
naman niya,
from student, naging faculty member. Ganun din. And then same with...
cool, no? My God.
Yeah. And then
form
same
Nikki,
also with Sir...
Naka-uniform siya na naka-white shirt lang.
What?
At
Yes, and black pants.
Diba? Parang ganun.
And another one is Sir
Sana may visuals.
Sir Seth, Sir Benta din. Yan, si Sir Seth.
Yes.
So, the time that I was actually taking his class, I took his class and he absorbed everything kasi talagang idol talaga siya, legend siya at the time. And I remember...
Legend that time, my God. Ang tanda ng dating.
And then, pumasok ako as courtside reporter. Siya yung, nandun din siya as a commentator. So, parang naging boss and mentor ko rin siya.
That's true.
So, parang yung natutunan ko sa classroom, parang nadala ko sa real life. Tapos sila rin yung parang mentor na nakabantay, parang nakaposte. So,
yun yung maganda, ba? When your mentors live what they're like teaching us. Kasi iba yung may disjunct ba? Yung ito yung sinasabi pero iba naman yung sinasabuhay.
Oo.
Diba? When they talk about simple lifestyle. Tapos yun, iba naman yung pamumuhay. Kaya si Bobby Guevara, it's good witnessing. Pag sinabing theology 141, di ba? Yan din, di ba? Kasi he lives it. He just lives it. Tapos si Dan, si DM Reyes, kumusta? Nung nakatrabaho mo na si Eric, nakatrabaho mo si Eric Reyes, di ba?
Yes! Oh my gosh. I was just gonna say, that teleserye, which is Apoy sa Dagat, directed by FM Reyes,
okay,
was
guys.
one. Wala nang mag-visuals. Most
Most
daring ko yun.
Kasi trusted your director.
But no, parang I was gonna say, that was about I don't want to say the only time, but parang the most memorable for me because nahimay namin, because it's FM Reyes, things like DM Reyes, we tackled the script as if it were a piece of literature.
Yes.
So parang I felt like it was more than cerebral acting, you know, parang kasi nga, na-dissect namin yung what would have been typical teleserye, sampalan and tarayan and whatever, and iyak-iyak. Parang hindi It's become this whole experience because parang Patty, I was able to bring what I learned, which is like how to think and how to analyze literature into the workplace. So, it was such a different experience.
Totoo yan. And if you notice, di ba, lahat ng sa trabaho natin mabilisan. And yung spots of like genius or brilliance nanggagaling sa mga taong pareho ng pag-iisip. yung inaral talaga. So, you would appreciate those people. Meron naman talaga gift talaga nila yon. Pero iba yung inaral. Tapos may nadadagdag sa mga natutunan na natin. Di ba? So, balik tayo sa mga natutunan nyo pa school. Looking back, what did Ateneo teach you? Ano yung mga...
Aside from being a man for others.
Okay. How you're living it out. No? But, so, ano yung tatak na parang, nakuha niya sa Ateneo yan? Ano yun?
Marketing?
Okay.
Madami. Yeah.
Totoo.
Parang meron a little bit that we apply to like our work and then family life.
Filipino, yun. Siguro umpisa yung hindi pwedeng yes and no lang yung sagot because may mga sa klase na argue mo yung sagot mo, di ba? Our oral exams taught us to be that, no? That we're able to articulate our arguments. Tapos kung minsan pag nako-convince mo yung teacher mo na oo, may point, you arrive at another truth. Tapos ma-appreciate mo yung process na yon. So parang siguro sa mga kausap natin, iba man yung sagot, na-appreciate natin, ay malikot yung isip, magaling. Ano may ganon, di ba? Kasi iba sarado na ipag yung equation ganito, ito yung result. So dito sa the Ateneo training is such that may gray area, parang ganon. And you would understand that. So yun. Even lit, for example, di ba? Ang daming interpretation, walang isang interpretation ng lahat. So yun.
And sometimes, parang when you ask questions, they don't always lead to answers. They lead to more questions.
More questions. And we want that, di ba?
Yes.
Okay. And our viewers, for example, in media, yung when they have more questions, mas masaya tayo kasi at least nag-iisip.
Correct.
Tapos at sasabihin sa atin, naguguluhan kayo, maganda yan. Kasi at least yan yung start ng karunungan. Yan yung sinasabi nila palagi. Other things. What did Ateneo like teach you?
For me, I guess like what I don't, of course, it's something I strive for in my life every day. For me, looking at the others na I grew up with, or whether they were my teachers or my, classmates, yung striving for excellence. I know it sounds so cliche, like people like roll their eyes like, really, you could be 17 or 18 and have that. And I was like, it felt natural. Like, I would see it left, right, the person in front of me, the person behind me. For me and Nikki, we were so blessed that we were given an opportunity to be on TV and like that. But I honestly, for me, I never felt extra special in Ateneo because everyone was so special in their own right. Like, it's just achievers in their own different fields, in their own...
And articulate, Patty, di ba?
So parang
yung mapa-Ingles o Tagalog, kahit sino kinakausap, parang hindi mo mapapatawad pag hindi niya na-articulate yung sinasabi.
So you're just in awe of parang that energy of people just understanding that they're given this gift of, having this opportunity, studying in Ateneo, and then how to maximize that life, diba? So parang whether it's the arts or economics or business, parang I would have different friends from different courses, pero lahat sila parang bilib ako.
The magic part,
respeto lahat because everyone's just really understanding that this is a gift and then like, how can I do the best?
Totoo. Tapos ito pag nag-shortcut yung mga tao, alam natin, nas binubuko natin, sasabihin natin, ay nako, shortcut yan, pero naiintindihan namin, pero parang you can do more. At alam natin yun eh. Next, ikaw, ano pa? Ayun, tama yun. Yung tipong wanting to do more at alam mong meron pang ibubuga, yung looking for matches. That's what they say.
Ano nga ba? For me naman, it's taught me how to just really be responsible and cover all bases because of the workload in school. Parang if you're not on top of everything and you're not managing your time well, meron kang crucial na makakalimutan. And and so and you have no one else to blame but yourself.
Wag ka na sumipot kung
wag ka na lang, pag sinermonan ka, wala. Just take it kasi there's no one else to blame but yourself. So parang you really take responsibility for...
Galing yung insight. Isa pa, di ba ang lakas ng konsyensya natin? Di ba? Compared to, di ba? Sa pagkasama mo yung ibang mga tao, parang tayo yung unang, gagawin ko ba yan o hindi? Di ba ganun yung, may ganun. Did you feel that? Pag nasa media, for example, siguro yun yung plus or minus sa atin. A lot of people will find us really, ay, ang bagal namang mag-decide kasi ang daming wini-way. Kasi nga, ang lakas nung konsyensya bago ka may gawin. Yes. So,
and of course, I don't think it's like we're better than anyone.
No.
You know, not at all. In fact, I
Yeah.
think it's because you have that humility in you that it tugs you a certain way, that you're willing to do the tediousness when it comes to
Correct.
decision making, that other people will probably think like, just
Ang
do it.
bilis.
Bahala na lang.
Oo.
I think because we were taught in a certain way na parang everything is important,
And
everything
discern, you have to
requires
discern.
attention.
everything.
So
Yes.
parang whatever status, kahit ano pa yan, you place importance or you place a value to it. So parang you're willing to do the legwork nga. And I guess
Totoo
go back,
yan. Totoo
yung
yan.
parang kay Nikki, yun nga, parang it's just the feeling of responsibility because parang it's of added value eh. Parang hindi yung dahil sinabi sa'yo, kailangan mo gawin, di ba?
So the rigor, no? And di ba yung when we discern, we really discern. Di ba? Sabi nga, lahat covered dapat. Kaya, pero in the real world, kailangan mabilis ka rin kumilos. There are a lot of us, di ba, sa totoong workplace, maraming mabilis mag-decide. Pag nagkakamali, nagsusorry na agad. Pero tayo, ingat magkamali. Di ba? Yun. Other things. Did your being Ateneans work for you, or what worked for you, or what worked against you when you were needy already?
For me, only because of parang that the field in the industry that I picked, which was teleserye and parang more masa, it was always parang for a time I felt like it worked against me because that was always management's complaint against me na may stereotype kasi ay Atenista, hindi maabot, masyadong social, English, ganyan.
And they were waiting for some drama in your life. Di ba ganun yung parang
yes,
di ba? Sorry.
Yeah, or some controversial interview answer.
Para kapitan ka at malagay ka sa But next, backtrack lang. Did you really want to be in show business? Or talagang ikaw ba yung tipong, saan ko nga ba gusto, bahala na. When you did that commercial, the Coke commercial, for example, inisip mo talagang maging artista ka?
Not at all. I just wanted one commercial. And then, the opportunity fell on my lap. And parang we saw it as, a chance to
to be more
inspire,
influential.
ganyan, to be influential for good. Kasi, so parang nung time na yun kasi nauusay yung konsepto ng wholesome.
Pasok.
Natawa ko doon.
Pasok.
Pareho pala kayong soft drink beauty.
Parang sinubmit mo lang yung ID photo mo.
Correct.
Ready?
I'm on it.
Yes. So, wholesome, nakahon na pala yung
yes.
Wholesome. Okay, so
pasok.
Natawa ako doon. Si Patty din, soft drink beauty din, di ba? You endorsed ba soft drink?
No.
Some drink, wala?
Well, I started talaga courtside. So I guess it worked for me kasi no choice. Yun yung team na kailangan ko represent.
At mahal ka ng Blue Bubble Battalion. No?
Yes. And actually, you know what, Noel? I said it to you in person, but never like in a public arena. Noel was one of the people who really helped me get into television. It was not something that I really planned for. So thank you, Noel.
But you choose your family on TV kasi nga sabi ko nga, pagbukas mo sa umaga, makasama mo hindi mo kasundo, ano pa, di ba? So you just have to enjoy those people.
For me, I guess I was really blessed kasi in UAAP, everyone was a student. So parang like-minded. And then pagdating sa breakfast, lahat din working student yung mga kasama ko, yung mga naging classmates ko talaga sila. So we were going through the same, experience. Like even Nikki, she was just entering college, I think. She was very young. And parang pare-pareho kami. Like during breaks, we would be sharing na kami mamaya, So it was nice to relate.
Alam natin kung sino yung ampunin natin, yung tipong, si Nikki yan, okay yan. Kasi at least tama yung fit, no? Tapos at saka makakausap natin yun sa umaga na kahit nauhuli yung utak, nauuna yung bibig, di ba? Parang bukas Di ba kasi ang hirap mag-morning show, di ba? Iba na sa sabi mo. Tapos Yung parang, ay, mali pala, yung tipong ganon. Pero may sasalo. So, that. And then, so when you were in media finally, ikaw never kang nag-venture into being artista.
For me, wala kasi akong singing talent ni Nikki at saka acting. So,
pero
acting
artista.
meron.
Acting meron.
Acting meron si Patty. Meron yan.
Sa asawa ko.
Kontrabida levels.
Oy, pero ito, one of the last few face-to-face meeting namin ni Patty, nanonood sila ng sine sa Trinoma. So yan, mahilig din sa manood ng sine. Matagal na, sobrang
matagal na.
Pero yun, but you enjoyed watching movies also.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I really
never thought of being an actress.
I think it's like, I think so highly of actresses because I understand the craft. Like, somehow, because I used to host events and because I would, encounter mga artistas, nakita ko kung gaano siya kahirap. Like, it requires a lot of hard work. Na it's not anyone talaga.
Kaya saludo ako kay Nikki. So, ang tawag namin kay Nikki, thinking actress. Kami namin ni Isidore.
Yeah. So for me, it's like, I would see, I would have friends who are actresses or in the industry. And it's like respeto, in the same way when you see a doctor. And you're like, man, I don't know how you do it, but
don't want to be you, but I respect you.
I'm happy for you.
So anong reaction mo kung yung kasama mo sa sine na nakita ko, naging artista? Finally.
Diba? Ay, sorry.
Kasama ko artista?
And yung nakita kong kadate mo, yung last face-to-face.
For him.
Okay. So, hindi ka nagulat na si Atom nag-umarte?
Akala ko si Pat yung pinag-uusapan natin.
Yun na nga. Kasi yun nga parang laki raw ng respeto. Yung kasama niyang nanonood ng sine na nakita ko, naging artista. Ako rin, never kong inisip na maggagawa siyang pelikula, di ba? Pero nag-artista na siya no grade school pa lang. So yun.
Grabe, history lessons ba ito?
Oo, kasi ma-history siya, di ba?
Ang katan.
Kailangan talaga ibalik. Noel, dalawa na anak ko.
Oo, mamaya pag-uusap.
Malalaki na sila.
So, never mag-inisip na mag-artista. At never, talagang wala.
No. I mean, again, like that, it's something I've always seen as a craft that's very difficult.
Not even as yourself. Very Bianca Gonzalez kasi yan na never din nag-artista. Pero kung interviewer siya, baka pwedeng pumayag. Alam ko, ginawa niyo yan for Tito Dolphy. Would you have done it?
I guess, maybe if I were
as yourself.
And kaya. But parang,
Kita mo si Cez Drilon, di ba ngayon gumagawa ng pelikula, no? Hello. As herself, di ba? So, pwede pa yan. Sasabihin ko, pwede pa si Kat.
Okay lang. Kasi na ako mag-homeschool. Magawa ng matas. Din na.
Next, ikaw naman. Let's go to Nikki, the actress. Ako, next, you got my respect when you did those teleseries. Sabi, yun nga. At saka yun, sabi nga ni Isadora, nakasama mo si Iza sa isang soap. At yun talaga yung matalinong artista. And then, when I saw Badil, next, yun talaga. Dapat ipalabas ulit yan sa bago mag-eleksyon, di ba? Na tipong curated the projects. At least, marunong kang pumili ng projects na gusto mong gawin. I bet hindi ka binayaran ng malaki sa Badil, di ba? So, but you...
No.
Di ba?
Not at all.
There are
hindi yun Abonado pa. Malamang abonado pa ako.
Correct. Even breakfast, for example, hindi naman kalakihan yung salary sa breakfast, but we would do it because alam natin na masaya tayong gagawin at merong kaibahan dun sa kaysa nag-iba kang, kunyari, gumawa ka ng frou-frou na project. Parang ito na lang yung gagawin mo.
Yeah, it's a project. For me, looking back, breakfast, Nikki and all of us. We were in different seasons. I remember it. Even until now, we have people coming up to us and say, I used to wake up with you guys. So it's the feeling that you were with a generation and you journeyed with them through a certain season in their life. So now, most of them are parents like me, di ba? So parang maganda rin na parang nasabayan mo sila through their different
And
seasons.
equated to excellence in your fields, kung saan man yon. So, yun, Nick, ikaw, when you did, yun nga, Badil, and yun nga, the teleseries that you said, ginawa mo, yun na yung fulfillment. Or would you have wanted more? What projects would you have wanted? Kasi nag-theater ka din na tipong, uy, very Nikki Fair. Kasi tipong, oo, ayaw nyo kong pansinin dyan sa mainstream, gagawa ako. Parang, di ba? Like a real Ateneo student, no? You won't rock the boat, but you would find for a space where you would excel.
No, hindi naman. I mean, I feel like, I was also given opportunity that many wanted.
But you won't give them controversy.
Yun lang. Kasi parang kung pwede naman tayong mabuhay sa industriya ng work lang tayo, yung craft lang, bakit naman hindi, di ba? But yeah, no, parang doing those projects, but yes, pilit siya because they took a lot of time and effort.
That's
talaga.
True.
And because they were few and far between, I wanted to make sure that every project was really, they were significant, yes. And that I believed in what it stood for.
Yes. So. And then next, even your music career was curated. Kasi I was looking through that, at least yung brand ni Nikki was actually lumang tao eh. Pero malalim yung sorry, na-articulate na natin.
Totoo.
Oo, yung OPM OPM classics. Yung tipong babalikan mo, kakantahin mo pa rin. Tapos Englishman, yung tatagal, mas classic. Hindi siya top 40s na fad.
Yes.
So, ano yung decision mo rin yun?
Ako, I'm very simple naman when it comes. Kasi syempre, I had a manager. So, I still had people who were on top of things for me, but for me, basta gusto ko siya.
Yes. That's true.
Basta gusto ko siya. Basta it makes me happy with the music. This song makes me happy because can you imagine having to sing a song that you don't like 20 times in 20 different malls all over the Philippines? Parang dapat gusto natin, di ba?
It did the rounds, yeah.
And I guess for me, I mean, Noel, if I could mention, like, I remember because Nikki was starting in breakfast when she was just starting after the Coke commercial. And then parang she graduated and then did like TV and teleseries. And I remember like watching her, of course, because I knew her now, but more like a fan, like, I really loved the trajectory of her career because it felt natural. Like, it didn't feel contrived, yung parang when you see like a young girl and then parang forced into stardom and you feel like parang it doesn't work, parang ganun. But with Nikki, you could tell that it was parang deliberate yung choices niya because
deliberate at alam mo class. At alam mo class.
Things to be done. Like even with the theater, like when she would transition to theater, you knew it's because she really felt connected to the script or to the role given to her. So parang hindi awkward panoorin.
Kita mo na it's not stardom that she wanted, no? Parang hindi stardom, it was sense of artistry. Well, siguro byproduct yung stardom, pero yung artistry was there.
Exactly.
Yun.
Yes.
So
maybe I think, Noel, what helped was I always knew that it was going to come to an end. So I always felt like it was temporary and that parang I couldn't really make a home for myself in the industry. So enjoy na lang the moments because I know naman that they were gonna be fleeting. Exactly.
Ang galing. Oh, at least grounded. That's what Ateneo taught us too, no? Tipong kasi iba yung playing field. Had it been a different playing field, iba siguro yung pagsulong natin, no? But at least you did the things na hindi mo ikakahiya. Na pag tinignan mo yung mga ginawa mo, ay maayos pala. Yun.
Proud ka naman kahit papano.
Totoo naman din. So, in your career as, well, broadcasters or being in media, for example, high points. Ano yung feeling mo, I was able to influence or inspire more people? Yung tipong, ano yung, what gave you that high in your media career?
For me, I guess, again, going back to like breakfast days, like I shared this before, it was a really, really fun season for me. Like,
That's
I
true.
look back and we were waking up. I lived all the way down south. So can you imagine driving all the way to
Yun.
ABS-CBN
Totoo
every
yun.
day, Monday to Friday. And yet I never dragged my feet. Like I
Totoo
always
yun.
felt really grateful I was in this job, that I could have a platform to talk to people like
Totoo
me, di
yun.
ba? Like, parang ganon. And then when I would meet, wala pa kasing social media before. So
Oo.
people would actually come up to you when you're in the supermarket or in the mall, and you'll have conversations talaga. And like,
Yeah.
and it would always be like mid-sentence, like as if they were your friends. Because we were with them, journeying with them every morning, parang yung conversation, kilala ka na nila. And I felt that was, wow, that's so special, na parang they feel like I'm actually a classmate or a batchmate of theirs. So
Galing.
that's something that I knew was so special. So
It's the
every time
connection, no? Hindi artificial yung connection. Oh, at
Yes.
least, parang you're able to hit your target audience.
Exactly.
Diba? So,
So-
Nick, ikaw, when did you feel like, ano
No.
yung guy that gave you the,
No,
ano?
I agree with Patty. I think also because parang, I think the keyword is authentic.
That's
Like,
true. That's
Patty
true.
was very authentic with her choices in her career.
Mhm.
Parang ako lang din na we don't do things that we don't really like doing.
Totoo yun.
That things
Even
that we
now.
didn't believe in.
Kasi kayo,
Diba?
Even
pag
now.
ayaw nyo.
So
Pero
parang
gusto
it's
natin yun,
paying
di ba?
off now. Yeah, it's paying off
Yes.
now because like people like now that Patty's an influencer, parang people trust her choices
Yes.
and her judgment. And so kasi nga authentic. So
Kasi
yeah, I
diba,
guess it's the same for me.
earlier on, yung mga kaedad niyo, sabihin yes lang yes sa lahat ng offers, but you chose deliberately, no, yung mga sasalihan niyo, yung mga gagawin niyo. And yun, tas palagi ko sinabi, we are also defined by the things and people we say no to. So kung ayaw mo, hindi talaga. And then that defines you. That really, and earlier on, you defined yung gusto niyo.
I
So,
guess it's also like a sustainable way of living, and it's not only like for showbiz or whatever industry you find
at
yourself
grounded,
in.
oh, tignan mo yung
You
sabihin mo,
have to
fleeting yung
think
industry.
sustainability, like, is this something I can wake up to and look in the
Galing.
mirror and recognize myself and be fine with it? Like, you know, everything kasi is up and down. Like even with Nikki when she was saying, you know, there's always a start and an end, and then you try to, you know, be grateful for the start and end and whatever's in between. But is it sustainable? And so I guess, you know,
Ganda
whatever
ng tanong.
industry, kaya mo ba panindigan? And I guess it's Ateneo again. Like, you give your 100%, pero bago ka mag-commit, di ba? Kailangan aralin mo muna.
Ang galing.
And you finish what you start.
Yes.
Yes. Pero yung closure mo talaga dun sa episode na yon, ako pronounce kasi yung legacy nyo, at least people remember you as competent in your fields, no? So tingnan man nila, hindi man superstar, but at least yung body of works maayos. Hindi ginawa para komersyo lang. Alam mo naman yung pang-racket lang, di ba? Pero
masaya din naman yun. Masaya din naman yun. Okay din naman yun.
Kasi
we're not opposed to that.
Isipin mo naman, Noel, allowance lang kami, di ba? So, syempre, kung may racket na magbabayad, masaya din ako
Fine.
cellphone.
But kahit racket, they know you to be competent. Like Nikki, we've traveled abroad to like yung kakanta ka lang na gano'n, di ba? Nakita mo na tipong at least magbabayad sila and you're doing something you want to do. Pati, kunyari may mga products, mga launch, di ba, gagawin mo and they see a certain kind of competence sa ginagawa nyo. So at least that, they get their money's worth. So yun yung when we come back, hindi natin namalayan 1 hour na, di ba? So ganun lang tayo nag-update. So, pero yung deliberate choices nyo, paano yung kunyari, sige na, I've tried na media and then another life after media. Ang hirap din yung talon, di ba? So, ang dami siguro ninyong pinagdaan ng reflection, di ba? Reflection, action, reflection. Yan yung tinuro sa atin ng Ateneo. Hindi pwedeng action, action, action because we commit the same mistake. So, gusto kong daanan yung discernment, malaman yung discernment nyo na, okay, tama na muna ang media, let's do some other things. So, we'll tackle that in the second hour when we come back. Dito lang sa Level Up. Yay! Ang saya.
Ulit kang nagla.
So many things I can't control, so many hurts that happen every day, so many heartaches that pierce the soul, so much pain that won't ever go away. How do we make it better? How do we make it through? What can we do when there's nothing we can do? We can be kind, we can take care of each other, we can remember that deep down inside we all need the same things, and maybe we'll find if we are there for each other, that together we'll weather whatever tomorrow may bring. Nobody really wants to fight, nobody really wants to go to war. If everyone wants to make things right, then what are we always fighting for? Does nobody want to see it? Does nobody understand? The power to heal is right here in our hands.
Taon na lang pareho din ang iyong pinaplano. Ngayon mo na kailangan ng totoong pagbabago. Wag mo na
Second part, iba, mas mature na tayo nito. So we talked about our days in Ateneo and your early days in media. So now, the deliberate effort to leave media for a while, kasi feeling ko babalik at babalik din naman kayo dyan. At may social media engagement naman kayo. Next for you, was it painful? And what was that threshold? Ano yung sabi mong, okay, demarcation line, sige na, I've had enough.
There was an instance. I mean, obviously, parang over the years, syempre, I've had my hinanakits and, just like grievances with the industry, wishing that the system weren't like this and I'm
alam
much as I
mo,
enjoyed my time there.
Parang nabago yung iba, di ba, ngayon dahil pandemic. Na-weed out yung iba, yung tipong yung hours of like long work. Di ba?
Yes,
Yun, no?
So that's a good thing. But syempre nung panahon ko, wala yan. Parang it was really, you're there. Kung ayaw mo, palitan ka namin. So you have to swallow everything. And so parang it was a series of parang, yun na nga, we were talking about it kanina. What did you want
for the industry then? What did you want for the industry then at least? Di ba yung parang working hours na makatarungan, di ba? Tama naman yun. Yes.
Oo, yun. And then
materials, di ba?
Siguro I was very naive to believe na parang, kasi in any industry naman there will always be politics. But that was something that I did not quite enjoy.
I understand you there.
Diba?
Meron, di ba, pag sinabi natin dahil may popularity ng Korean novelas ngayon, di ba? So, kita mo, sa kanila, nakaayos lahat, kailan ititip, kailan itakan. Sa atin, hindi. Sa inyo talaga, hand to mouth, yung existence sa mga teleserye. So, yung quest mo for artistry sometimes bogged down talaga. So, you went through that. Tapos next ito, how much did love play into that decision na ayoko rin? Ayoko na. Kasi niloko ako ng mga nakarelasyon kong taga-industriya.
Hindi naman sa gano'n. Hindi naman sa niloko ako ng mga naka-work ko.
Kami yung nagagalit nun pag niloloko ka.
Ano na ba pinag-usapan natin? Ikaw talaga, akala ko naman pa rin, mga
in the industry kasi parang people, co-workers and yun, love life even, ha? Yung tipong they keep on your personal relationships and they would sell part of the whole package.
But any other person would have gone through the same thing. What just made it more complex was I was going through it under the scrutiny of the public. But parang it was whatever it was. Every other girl goes through it. It wasn't a unique experience.
Question. Kasi big respect talaga. Yung tipong, si BJ was from a different industry. Di ba? Kasi pagpapalawak ng abot tanaw. Kasi
actually, he's naman talaga what I had always prayed for and imagined that I'd end up with.
Ka-level ng I love you before I met you, Patty, no? Mamaya Patty.
Talaga. Na ano lang tayo, nag-choose to experiment lang along the way.
Nag-detour lang.
Ang galing naman.
Nag-detour lang, pero yun naman talagang
nagpagas lang.
So parang prepare ka lang for someone like BJ. No, so when BJ came, was he the one who told you na, tama na muna, Nikki? Or yung deliberate na okay, tama, parang God prepared you para sa isang tao na wala din sa industriya?
I mean, nakatulong because he would see how much, the industry would affect me and how unhappy it made me at that point. Parang it wasn't already, parang there's fulfillment in the project and then may kaakibat siya na anxiety and unhappiness and parang it just wasn't worth it at some point anymore.
Galing.
He helped me parang kind of gain confidence to just be like, you know what? I spent 12 years of my life in the industry. I think I've given it enough time and given it enough of myself na when I walk away, I don't think I'll regret anything.
Ang ganda kasi
Thank you.
self-aware.
Next.
At self-aware.
In the words of Ariana Grande.
Yes, at that's, yun nga, may self-awareness, and yun nga, let's outline it, Patty, at saka next, no? Alam mong hindi para sa'yo, or parang move on na kung number one, hindi ka na bumabait. Yun muna. nagiging bugnutin ka, para, yun, you're forced to be a different person. Pangalawa, hindi mo na nabibigay yung galing mo kasi yung opportunities hindi na ganun karami. Pangatlo, I guess, did you come to a point, Nix, na talagang bugnutin ka at hindi ka feeling mo hindi ka maganda kasi parang nagiging grouchy and all? Kasi sabi nila
My mom would tell me. My mom would tell me na kinakain ka na ng sistema.
Oh,
and every once in a while, I would go through, seasons of ganun. Iba na ako sumagot. Parang sobra ko ng concern sa one line lang yung binigay sa akin dun sa prod number. And to her, she's like, kinakain ka na ng sistema. That's not what we're here for. So that will kind of...
It's like that, di ba?
And yes. It's parang, okay, try another, So, well, good that you had DJ to like show you na, merong world apart.
Yes.
Galing. Patty, ikaw, deliberate
I guess for
yan,
me, and I think I can say this for Nikki because we're just one barkada. Because our husbands are really good friends.
Yes.
So parang BJ actually is like a brother to me. So
correct.
I personally I think I'm in the best position because I've seen Nikki in different seasons. Like I saw her as a wide-eyed girl na completely clueless coming into showbiz, with this excitement, and then middle na parang medyo, like she was much more comfortable already in the craft. You could see na parang she became much more confident. And then parang now where she's a mom and a wife, I don't feel like it's like she had to give up, or parang it's more like it's transitions. Again, like what I said, it always feels natural. So parang with her, like watching her now na I've seen her from the past, I don't feel like parang you're missing out or bakit mo give up. I feel like it's
mas
just
masaya siya.
she's supposed to be right now.
But I want you to sing pa din, Nix. I know kung hindi pandemic, alam ko kung hindi pandemic, bumalik ka sa theater, di ba?
Yeah.
So,
And I think like if she makes a transition, like going back again, it won't be like a return of the comeback.
That's true. It's never gone.
It will just feel natural. Like parang it's just gonna be like, you know what? This speaks to me. I feel happy doing it. I'm gonna dive back in. And BJ is the type na very secure in giving that to Nikki, like to support her also. In
Si Patty na pala yung new manager ko, Noel.
Correct.
Letting you know.
But because I see different, alam mo ba, may trivia ko. Na si BJ, kasi he's a really close friend of my husband. So parang si BJ, ang third wheel namin for so long.
Ay, oo.
Magdi-date kami, si BJ yung kasama namin. Nag-New York honeymoon nga kami, kasama namin si BJ.
Panalo. Hindi ako, last kong encounter kay BJ, ka-jokean ko na kasi pinagtatawanan na yung industriya. Kaya niya. Yung papaalis na si Waki papunta London din. Diba? Yung meron siyang isang gig dyan sa may El Pueblo. Tapos, kala mo square? Kasi mukhang square, di ba? Parang gano'n na talaga. Pero hindi, no? Parang nasa loob yung pulo. So, yun yung masaya. And talagang mabuting tao. Yun, di bang gano'n? Yun, parang hindi lolokohin si Nikki katulad nung naranasan yung iba, di ba? So, yun. And we're so
talaga. Masaya si Nikki. But yun nga, I feel like their partnership really works. Like, it doesn't feel like may statement na parang, bawal to, bawal yan.
Na yung ganda at saya.
They just support each other and it just works. So parang, I guess it's like whether Nikki decides to do theater again, parang it will be something we'll all be excited to see. But I know that it will be a decision na she'll make na talagang gusto niya.
Galing. Ikaw naman, pwede ka bang mag-talk show ulit?
Theater, Patty, theater.
Pwede ba kayo ni Ato co-host
Oh
ulit.
my God!
Kawawa naman.
Uy, pwede ha, kunyari, voters education, kasi ibang era na ngayon. Kasi ngayon, kailangan magpa-register ng mga tao. You go into that campaign?
You know, I think it's this 2000. So parang everyone's like, really?
but a good project can be something for the country. Di ba yung tipong ganun, voters registration, o go, come out and vote. Would you be open to something like that?
I think support ko na lang siya kasi I think he will be the perfect.
Pero ito nga, Patty,
Repost.
nung kayo ba,
Yeah.
nung kayo ba nun, naisip ko na pwede siya maging presidente, no? Parang hindi natin ma-convince. Kasi more than BAM, na iniisip natin, uy, si Atong pwede maging presidente.
Uy, BAM! Hi!
Oh, hello, BAM. Oo.
BAM.
Nako, ano na siya ngayon? Game show host kasama ni Ding Dong Dantes online.
Oh,
Di ba?
wow!
Nakita mo, oo. Parang negosyo, parang startup. Nakita mo na ni startup, parang namimigay ng pera.
Galing!
Bam Dong Show. Pero yun,
Wow,
yun
I haven't seen
ako
him
we
in
would
a
want
while.
our, even Patricia Evangelista was so good.
Yes.
Now as a broadcaster, I'm so proud of all of you. Yung tipong ganyan, yung tipong, they're making their marks in society. Nung ikaw nag-transition naman to motherhood, seryoso talaga yon. Grabe, ginawa mong career ang motherhood.
Wow, kung alam niya lang. It's
Yan
just
na.
that nabuntis ako. Kasi
Grabe naman. Kasi nga authentic siya. Kasi nga parang he is authentic.
For me, I guess, parang now that you're thinking about, we were talking about it, I guess same with Nikki. Like, the time that I was doing television, I remember I transitioned even to preschool teaching because that's what something I love to do.
Uy, bagay sa'yo yun talaga. Pwede mong balikan. And your family, may-ari ng malalaking eskwelahan. Do you see yourself?
Mismo.
Pero ang mga Laurel, pag-aari nyo yung intramuros ng mga schools, di ba?
But I guess it's just the feeling that I was able to do something else that was not exactly where I was, like in media, and still find that fulfillment and joy. And now that I'm thinking about it, it's because we were blessed with an education that made us secure in ourselves. And I think it sounds very cheesy, especially now that you hear all these lines, but when you have that education backing you up, parang you're much braver in making transition.
That's true.
You're ready to step out when you feel there's like it's too forced, it doesn't feel natural anymore. Parang you can walk away and
start your own.
And start
that's true.
It doesn't have to look exactly the same as how people projected it to be for you. But if you're confident in your decision and you feel you're in the right spot, then go ahead, diba? And I think, again, I'm so blessed na my husband, like, I felt like, I could just be so secure in my decision.
That's true.
Because I found a partner na parang he believed in me also. So, yeah, it was just like easy navigation. So, even now, like, as a mom, same with me and Nikki, we're in the same season na.
Oo nga, but it's a tie na kayo soon na 2 kids. Kasi ayan, no, preparing for the next one. But
like, I don't think we're in the position as experts or gurus. In fact, I think that's why kami ni Nikki and our other friend Danny parang constantly kailangan may support group.
Kailangan ng support.
Very far from the ideal. But
pero that makes you authentic.
Yeah, at least we're helping each other. And I think, again, back to the whole Ateneo idea, it's like feeling grateful for what's given to you and then just making the most of what you can do in a day. So whether it's in media or in motherhood.
But how has motherhood changed you? Ako kasi nabasa ko yung letter mo kay Tio dun sa book, di ba?
Yeah.
Parang, huy, ibang klase na si Patty. Parang kung filo paper to, ito, parang ganon. Yung letter mo kay Tio. Kasi parang, my God, Patty, sobrang pinagdaanan mo para isulat yung letter na yon.
Yeah.
So that was a letter of your life, actually.
Yeah. I actually went through a lot of like health scares.
Yeah.
And then also after Theo. So I guess for me, it's the word would be humbling. Like motherhood really humbled me. Like lahat ng achievements mo, kahit graduate ka ng Ateneo, all those things.
Ayan, nakaiyak siya. Totoo.
Like, you just have to start from scratch and then you really have to like depend on God because wala talaga. Yun lang talaga yung
Surrender, di ba? But,
surrender.
so na-appreciate mo yung mommy mo more, I suppose. That?
Yes.
And then did you end up being like her?
My mom, yes, I guess, of course I have.
Kasi denial, Nikki, naku, tatanungin ko yan sa'yo. Kasi
Different than yung mom ko. But I guess now, parang na-appreciate ko siya in a whole life.
Oh.
Like
Kasi
all those things that she used to say before that just like
Gets mo na bigla.
Like, Mom, remember you told me.
Oh. So Nick, we saw your mom. Cool naman si ma'am. Pero kakaiba rin siya na nagbantay sa'yo, no? Pero you would appreciate her talaga. Yung tipong ako, nung naging mom ka, paano nag-iba lahat yan?
Same lang din naman as Patty. Parang you feel like you enter into it feeling mo, you know what you're gonna do and you know how you're going to raise your child and then you actually go through it.
True.
And it turns out walang formula. And for the most part, you're just clinging onto fellow moms who don't judge. Like Patty is one of them. One of two.
Support.
That I really rely on
Like
for
what? Ano yung mga
judgment-free advice.
Ano yung hiningi mong tips from Patty, for example, na valuable naman na tip na pwede mong ma-share?
Wait, galingan
From
mo.
Ito na. Ready ka na, girl. No, I mean from the practical. From like practical picky eating, ganyan. How do I get him to not freak out when he's about to take a bath? To parang processing our mommy feelings because both of us used to be very active in the industry. And you're right. Parang when we transitioned to motherhood, parang there's that feeling of, is this all I am about now?
Ang ganda.
Parang, am I just a mother na lang now?
But it's so valuable.
Yes, and how parang if we are, there's nothing wrong with that. Diba? What a privilege to be a mom. But also processing the whole, I miss having my face made up by someone or I miss being glamorous. Diba? And then, there's that whole, we put our parang back down to earth and then we realize how blessed we are to moms to these kids. So,
and why complain?
Ganon.
Why complain, di ba? Parang ako, your perspective will really change kung talagang grateful ka na lang kasi ang daming dapat ipagpasalamat. Yun yung no?
Totoo.
And with your kids, Pats, yun ang buhay mo eh. Wala. May rule ba sa bahay? Well, hindi natin nagagawa ngayong pandemic. Yung tipong time out, bakasyon, parang may ganong bang routine na kayo nakaset?
Magaling si Patty dyan.
Ayun na.
I guess for me, parang I always think like, what's the childhood I want them to remember?
Yeah.
Like, I know I used to be very meticulous about details, but then I always remember how I grew up.
Ang galing.
It's the moments that I remember with my mom and my dad or my lolo and lola. Because I remember they would send us to the province in Davao. We would, just eat mangoes all day. And I don't think it was like so philosophical or deep. Or like some,
but at least may ganong experience.
But I remember it. And those are the things that made marks in my life. So parang I always try to think as a whole, like, is this a childhood they want? Like, is this a childhood that would lead them to becoming good people? Like, that they would have so much love in their heart that it would be so natural for them to release that same love or understanding or kindness towards others. So, everything, I guess, iba-iba naman styles eh.
Totoo.
So, it's just...
Pero hindi inaaral yan, di ba? Parang hindi inaaral, talagang it just comes. Kasi naranasan mo at gagawin mo, no? So, hindi pwedeng i-fake next, di ba? Na tipong, yung motherhood, sineseminar nung iba, pero iba pa rin yung innately nang gagaling dun sa care mo, hindi lang para sa anak mo, pero para sa sarili mo. But I have to ask you, kumusta naman yung mga asawa nyo? Hindi ba feeling nila you're more of a mother than you are a partner? Or meron ding delineation yon? Or are you aware na, kailangan ko rin maging asawa?
I guess I always I always have that parang understanding that two roles sometimes coincide because you have to be a part.
Nako, Nikki, paano yun? Ka palagi ang
But
boss.
sometimes, it's clearly naman na separate. So, I mean, it's not like, di ba, you're like really deciding one or the other. Like even for our kids, like they understand that parang when we have to watch our HBO Go, like, goodbye.
You have to go away.
Pero
You have to HBO go away.
Naka-switch ba kunyari, pag mommy ka, ikaw yung masusunod. Pero pag asawa ka, kailangan si Patrick yung masusunod. Walang ganun.
Hindi naman.
I think it's also the personality of Pat. Like I actually thought about it a while ago. Like just being on lockdown for like
test yun na for relationship. Oh my God.
And I know it's not easy for a lot of families. Like, this is the season na talagang things are so difficult. You're going through all these emotions.
True.
And it's not perfect, but I always think like, wow, buti na lang I like my husband. I like him as a person, that I don't have to stay just because we have vows and we have this commitment. I mean, all of those things are great, of course. But buti na lang I like him. Like, I find him
pareho, hindi nagko-complete sa rules.
So,
hindi sa mga rules, kunyari sa mga lockdown rules or yung mga sanitation ganyan or yung mga protocols. Pag kinukulit mo siya, hindi siya nagagalit or siya pa mismo.
Kasi the vibe of my husband is he's very chill. Yes, it's like, I think it's like the same. Like there are so many things in his life that I have respect for because I know that he's really good at it. So I trust him completely. And then in the same aspect when it comes to motherhood or, things like family stuff, parang he knows I'll take the lead. So parang nagtatansyahan kami. So it doesn't feel like parang there's one who's stronger than the other. And I think it's like, you see that now in marriages that parang the stereotypes are all, disintegrating now because it's more like what you can bring to the table and they're equal partners. And I think with Nikki and BJ is the same kasi with BJ then, like me, I'm saying this as very ate again. But he has his own thing that we respect him for. Like, he's the guy for this. Then my husband is the guy for this. And so parang we kind of like feed off each other's energy and learn from each other. So you don't feel like, oh my gosh, ang hirap. Parang gano'n.
Ganda ng community. No, kunyari, hindi nyo gusto yung asawa nyo nakasama sa movies. So kayo yung dalawang lalabas. Parang gano'n. Or yung mga lakaran na alam na ng mga asawa nyo na kayong dalawa yung magkasama.
Oo, and yung friend namin si Danny. Tapos alam mo din, kakain lang kami. Okay.
Yung mga setup namin laging soiree. Girls dito, boys dito. Kasi kayo din naman mag-uusap. Meron din naman kami dito.
But next ito, yung dynamics niyo ba ni PJ such that pag siya na yung nagsalita, makikinig ka na?
Oo naman.
Ang galing. Kasi yun yung effect niya sa akin na kaya kayo nag-work, yung tipong pag siya na nagsalita, yung madaldal na Nikki tumatahimik. Nakita ko yun.
I mean, may mga times din naman na I won't let it go without a fight. Pero pag nakita ko ng serious na siya, syempre, at the end of it naman, I will always submit to him because I know that, whatever it is, yung decision niya was guided by God.
Ang galing. I want to go there. I actually want to go there. How much of your relationships now are being well strengthened because of faith? Kasi di ba this pandemic, di ba yun isa daw talaga ng nakakapitan mo talaga. Yun talaga faith talaga. Well, yun yung I think yung kay BJ kasi rooted yung si Pat, no, parang it's all rooted on good faith. No? Really, yun. So bumait tayong lahat. Hindi naman natin napakasama pero parang
baka may sainthood na sila.
Oo. So anong effect ni BJ sa'yo on that aspect? You've been more prayerful.
Very na-prove din naman na very patient yung mga asawa namin. Na-prove din
yung sagot
naman.
nila.
Ang saya.
Oo.
Yeah. So, so if there's anything about the pandemic, ano yung, kasi pag kinausap ko si Juday at si Ryan, sinasabi nila the importance of, since ngayon 24/7, magkasama kayo sa bahay, di ba? So, there
Correct.
should be alone time and me time also in that dynamic. Sa inyo rin ganun?
Well, I don't know about our setup kasi as BJ works from home. So it's as
Okay.
if he still goes to the office. So
Good,
I see him in the
good.
morning and then I see him for lunch and then next labas na niya ng lungga niya is gabi na, madilim na. So it's as if he were still going to the
Pero
office.
at least nandyan lang siya, no?
Oh, andyan lang siya. Pwede naman pumasok minsan para maglambing. But otherwise,
Kaya nga na kayo nakabuo,
wala.
no? Hello? Pandemic
Yes.
baby. Pandemic baby.
Very very productive kami na tong pandemic.
May resulta agad.
Ang saya.
Oo, busy
Pat,
kami.
kumusta yung dynamics nyo ni Pat nung ngayong pandemic? Lockdown, no?
I guess for me naman, Patrick kasi is like a really hands-on dad because his dad was like that, his brothers are like that. So he same as Nikki, he also works from home, so he has an office. But I find that his stress reliever is to play with the kids. I know it sounds weird, but when he's really stressed, parang he has to step out and he'll just play with them. Parang yun yung parang pang rinse ng bad vibes or whatever. So I guess that's how he's wired. Na parang once he plays with them, parang he gets more, motivated again. Tapos babalik na naman yun sa office. So I guess of course even for Nikki and I, yun nga yung joke namin, yung fantasy namin, pupunta kami ng mall, tapos kakain lang kami ng bibingka, like yung alone time ko. Yun lang.
Iwan lang namin sila.
I mean, we're not saying that, diba, everything is perfect at home. I wish we could have that support, diba? But I feel like this is the situation that we're in. It's difficult. It's very, taxing physically, emotionally. It really takes a lot from you and it takes a toll. So there are days that you really conk out, and that's where you, again, I think like what you mentioned, how important to have something to share with your husband, which is faith, because it's something that is so concrete that whether you're having a good day or a bad day, it's consistent. So you know how parang when you're having a good day, because you have your faith, you know that it's coming from something that's beyond you. And then when it's really bad and you're overwhelmed, because it's bigger than you, because you have God who's bigger than you, you get thing to cling on to. So I mean, it's a tangible thing to cling on to, especially now na napakadami ng variables na against.
At yun, surprisingly, na habang marami katulad nyo na nagiging mas close na sa dynamics during the pandemic, marami ring naghihiwalay.
Yes.
So yun, that's the whole reality now of couples. The people, kasi they're never used to being together for a long time.
It's a very hard thing, yes. So parang you understand, that's why I keep saying, every day is like,
kaibigan nyo talaga yung asawa nyo.
Hindi siya madali. Like, hindi talaga siya madali. So, for every day that you're given, di ba, we always say like, oh, basta healthy ka, ganyan. That's what you're doing. But it's also so many other things that you're hoping for, di ba?
Hindi simplistic yung lahat. Next, ikaw, ano pa yung pwede mong tip sa couples ngayon na I'm sure maraming pinagdadaanan ngayong pandemic?
Alam mo naman ako.
Maging productive.
Maging productive. But, I mean, I wish I had advice. But we're really also still figuring this out because, this is the first time we're going through it. We're all in, parang, even then, parang different situations for different family setups. Every day is different. Some days will be good and we'll feel like we have it all figured out. And then there are days when nothing seems to work. Talagang give up ka na. And so, you just take it a day at a time, I suppose. And just, I think you'd be grateful for the little things.
Tapos itong ang second baby, was it something planned? Or talagang, wow,
Yes, and to be fair, pinlano naman talaga namin. At
Okay.
parang lalong na-confirm nung pandemic because Finn was alone. Walang kids. And wala siyang kalaro, wala siyang kausap. Umabot na kami sa imaginary friend stage. So sabi namin ni BJ, it's time.
Time for a real friend.
Time for a real friend.
So parang hindi online friend, o hindi imaginary friend.
Oo, kawawa naman siya.
So you're expected to like give birth when? Ang saya. Yan na yung mga process.
Last quarter of the year.
Okay. So how are you taking it? Tapos na yung mga mabugnuting araw, yung tipong ganon, yung lihi, yung ano ba? Ano yung pinaglihan mo?
Yes. Oo, no. I'm on my second trimester na. And then
Okay.
first trimester was very difficult kasi may morning sickness.
Okay.
And si Patty as in, papadala na lang siya sa akin ng pandesal tsaka Gatorade. Kasi yun lang yung pwede kong kainin.
Kasi yung picture niya, parang nagpa-picture. Sabi ko,
kakamustahin nila ako, Nick, how are you?
Padala
Hindi na ako magre-reply, send na lang ako ng selfie. Guys, mamatay na ako.
Pero maganda pa rin. Bangag lang. Magandang bangag.
Pero at least alam mo na towards something good. May yung pinagdadaanan.
Yes.
Yes. Party Patty, kayo naman, kumusta ngayon? Yung tipong with the 2 kids now, online schooling could be so parang sobrang taxing, no? Gusto mo na ba silang ibalik sa face-to-face?
Yes.
Pero hindi pa rin hanggang walang bakuna, di ba?
Exactly. Gusto ko na bigyan ng award lahat ng magulang.
At
lahat ng
yan. Totoo.
So I guess parang like what Nikki said and what you said, it's a very, very difficult season. And I think for me, the only good takeaway from all this is that people are less judgmental.
That's true. It's to be kinder.
People are much kinder these days because
Dapat.
it's just so hard. Like nobody's been prepared for this, and you could be single, you could have 3 kids, 4 kids, you could be living with your parents, and the struggle is the same.
Ay, so aside from being instant teachers sa online education ng mga anak nyo, are there any other skills that you like ventured into during this pandemic? Plantito or talagang ganun kayo dati? Or ano pa yung
painting.
Mga artistic.
Yes, artistic. Talagang umabot na ako sa point na I need to do something.
Outlet.
I need a creative outlet.
Very good.
And yeah, and it's
Patingin, meron kang proof? Ano yung mga,
wala dito.
Pero ano yun? Talagang...
Nasa banyo nakahang. Hanggang banyo lang muna siya. Deserve niya banyo lang.
Paakyat ng paakat yun yung quality. No? So, tama yun, Nick said. There's that, while sabi nga, faith, family, friends, yung food na level into food for yung pinadadala ni Patty sa'yo for the body, nourishment sa body, and for the soul. It's really parang artistic.
And for the soul.
Totoo, yun.
Yeah. Parang wala. Kasi this, again, as I mentioned earlier, it's just, we're all just trying to figure this out because this wasn't how life was originally designed to be.
Totoo.
So parang we just try what we can and see what works.
It's really not a spectacle, but like really making something out of a moment like this. So talagang ibang klase. Pati ikaw, painting ka din? Painting yung mukha niya. O, naka-makeup, kapatid, o.
Napadala niya ako ng painting.
Makeup, parang mahalang bahid sa mga makeup artist. Yun,
I guess for me, kasi, well, my son is older na, so he's already 5, 6. So, parang my whole day is really planning how to do it. And then, yung anak kong isa na 2, 3, pinapasayaw-sayaw ko na lang sa...
Ayan na.
Maliba yun.
Mga frustrations ng nanay pinapagawa sa mga...
At sabi ko, mali ka pa ng pinili na ninang. Ninang ako eh. O, syempre, susupport ko yung mga ganyang kaartehan.
Oo naman.
Which I guess for like this year, parang it's not necessarily a free pass. I mean, lack of finding the right term, but parang it's like a year where people are more forgiving of themselves and of other people. So if it doesn't work out as planned, parang okay lang.
Okay lang.
I guess it's
Don't be so hard on yourself.
the line that we have for each other, me, Nikki, and our friend Danny, parang okay lang yan. Like, I think it's gas-gas lang. But sometimes when you hear it, it's enough. Like, that's what you need to like get through the next 2 hours.
Yeah. But ikaw, yung plans niyo for yourselves. Nung kunyari, for example, after yan, okay, motherhood is a career too, no? Next will be like taking care of another baby soon, no? But ano pa, yung pwede nyong gawin after that? Of course, lalaki rin sila, pero matagal pa yun. Of course, mas hands-on pa kayo dyan. But do you still have dreams for yourselves?
I was actually talking to BJ about this the other night. Parang nagka-moment ako kasi bagong bili ako ng earphones. And then I found myself listening to music. And I realized I haven't listened to music in a really long time. And because hormonal, emotional, parang alam mo yung na-scratch yung itch. Tapos na-realize ko, music was my life. For a really long time, it was my life. Diba? But when you think about all of the things that I'd have to go through if I were to find myself in music again, parang hindi rin eh. Parang di ko rin kaya.
Na-democratize na yung music. May Spotify na. Ang dali na rin to put your music out there. Just create. Kung dati, di ba may...
But I don't even want to put my music out there. I was telling BJ, I just want a karaoke mic. I just want to sing for myself. I don't want to sing for... I don't even want to do it for anyone.
Why not? Let's have breakfast nights na nagka-karaoke lang tayo ulit.
Diba? Gusto ko lang yung may box na gano'n, no? Tapos, kanta lang ako for myself.
Let's do that. But mix. Kailangan pa rin yung boses na yan, no? I bet. So, at least may ganun kang yearning to like do something, like going back to your music. Good.
But it's not as simple as that. Syempre, it's more complex. But parang just the realization that the love for the art is still there.
That's true.
Yun lang.
Isa pa konti. Ano yung song na pag napatugtog ngayon, natitrigger ka? Parang nandun ka sa level na yun. Yung tipong, it hits you.
Wala naman in particular. It's just, I was listening to...
Or inspiring you to like do something like that.
I mean, when I see mga clips from Broadway, when I listen to new,
that's
mga theater material, when I watch old rehearsal videos of, mga rehearsal ng mga musicals.
You were supposed to do what? Here?
I was supposed to do Carousel.
Yun, I look forward to that. Yun na nga, yung big announcement dapat that it could have been your comeback. Your theater
But now, paano?
Meron box.
On the way.
So, karaoke na lang.
Depending pa. Karaoke na lang tayo. Okay na yun.
At ikaw, ano yung parang during the pandemic naisip mo na, ito naman yung gusto kong pwedeng gawin? Aside from yung mag-homeschool kasama ng mga anak.
I guess parang for me, I think I find myself in this situation where I was able to transition to social media.
That's true, and you're using it very, very well.
With where I'm at also.
Yeah.
And I'm tracking back again to being grateful that I wouldn't have had this if I didn't do breakfast or UAP or MTV, because yung mga kasabayan ko, those people who actually watched back then are the ones who are following me now. And like I said, before we were all college graduates, so we could relate. And then now they're all moms. So parang I never
interdisciplinary, di ba?
Yeah, like I never felt this parang kailangan mo papagets pa rin. Or like, try to be something I was before. Parang,
TikTok.
Diba? So I just sort of did whatever I had to do. Tapos kasabay ko na rin everyone. So with the social media, it's good because you're able to manage what you feel comfortable in sharing and what you feel confident in talking about. So you can still use it as a platform. Again, whether it's super babaw lang, I mean, I don't think so highly of my platform in it's a great, site. For me, it's more...
Pero maayos na brand, di ba?
Yeah, I keep thinking like, if there's a mom who goes to my page, she'll probably get an idea for something to do with her kids. Minsan it could just be a joke, like really corny. Kasi
it's just relatable content talaga.
Yeah, I don't have to overthink everything. And
No,
I think that's, again, going back to it being sustainable and transitioning easily.
Ano yung pwedeng lesson na pwede mong i-share sa mga tao yun about social media now? Kasi yun na, everyone's into it, pero parang, it's like, well, keeping true to a brand, being authentic, and what more? Just so meron kang talagang actual voice. Also the reason why you're there. Tell the people ano dapat yung demeanor ba or yung core mo to get for you to be effective in social media.
I guess like back to what Nikki said, whatever you're given, you want to be as responsible as possible. Like, other people would be so grateful to have that in their hands. So don't take it for granted. So I always approach it like that. Like, whether sobrang bago lang na post, hindi kailangan philosophical, hindi kailangan deep. Pero gusto ko lang, makakangiti yung magbabasa noon, di ba? Like, ningiti ba siya? Masistress ba siya pag binasa niya?
At least may nararamdaman. Hindi ba yung rule natin?
Masama yung araw niya pag nakita niya. Kahit yung mukha ko, kunyari, gandang-ganda ako sa sarili ko, pero stress na stress siya nung nakita niya, di ba? So, I mean, of course, you don't want to keep pleasing everyone.
That's true.
I've reached the level, I guess I'm approaching 40, so it's not that I'm doing things to, please people or give them this projection of who I want to be in front of people. It's just being careful with what you want to put out because people are absorbing it, especially now during this very difficult time, emotions are heightened. So parang don't be lax in just distributing things, whether it's fake news or something that would cause anxiety or trigger depression. Like, just parang hawakan mo ng maayos. And I always think about it like being face to face. Like, like Nikki, when we sit together and have a meal, like I want to walk out of that lunch feeling lighter. Like, that's the feeling I have, whether we laugh,
when you're in social media,
or malalim, it doesn't matter. Like, that's how I want social media to sort of play. So it's not really like I have to look a certain way or it has to look ganito.
Pero ang maganda sa inyo wala kayong post na pangit kayo. Yun talaga. I follow you. Okay. Parang at least at sinabi ko talaga.
Curated talaga.
Meron din. Nag-disappear in 24 hours.
We'll delete later. No, pero remember when we do interviews in breakfast, I always say, number one, at least meron dapat may malalaman yung mga tao. You give them something more, may dagdag. Then pangalawa, dapat may maramdaman. Kung ano man yung maramdaman na yon, sana beneficial sa kanila. So, for in Instagram or Facebook, with those reasons, yun yung dalawa. Dapat lang, hindi lang dadaan tapos ay wala lang. Kasi be something na meron naman sana silang mapulot at saka may maramdaman. So, and when I see your pages, sabi kong gano'n, una pa lang, ang gaganda. At least parang maaniwalas, masaya, maayos yung paligid. Pwede may pag-asa. Yung parang gano'n.
Nagwalis.
Oo. Next, ikaw, deliberate ka rin, no? So when you post some things.
Yeah, I mean, now kasi parang I'm torn between parang obviously I now live a more private life, so parang I'm very careful with what I share.
Yun. I
but
wanna
at the
ask
same
you
time,
there. Ay, talagang ano ka sa privacy, no? Sa inyo, di ba? Parang you just don't share anything. Yung iba talaga overshare, di ba?
only because I married a private person, know, and so parang he didn't sign up for that. Parang when he married me, parang ako yung public, siya hindi. So parang wag ko na siya idamay, di ba? Na nahimik naman si Fred. But syempre, there's also that pressure not naman pressure, parang I sometimes think because I'm curating it too well, parang am I giving off a false sense of parang perfection and you also don't want, kaya nga it helps to have those, like Patty's very with posts where her captions are, they're just very real. She says it as it is para nobody falls into the perception na perfect ng life mo.
Hindi vanity post, no? Ang maganda yung sa inyo.
You want to inspire.
true. That's true.
Hindi mang-inggit.
Totoo. Kasi
Yeah.
and we know kasi, and we want to tell the people this, parang the best moments are really not on social media.
Yes.
Parang
Yeah,
get alive. This is
Yes.
just parang, well, a piece of it, pero yun, kasi ayaw mo rin naman. May rule ba kanigan? Pagkasama niyong pamilya, walang phones? May mga ganun kayo? Or yun, parang yung kinokontrol nyo rin yung, or hindi nyo pinapakita sa mga anak nyo na, okay, you're so engrossed dun sa telepono or sa pagpo-post. Yun sa
Ngayon naman kasi na 24/7 kami magkasama, hindi na sila ma-offend. Okay lang yun pag dinner. Kasi buong araw na tayo magkasama. Oo, mag-Instagram na lang ako.
Perfection na kami. Okay na kami sa
kanina pa tayo nag-usap eh.
Galing. Pero yun na.
I guess it's going back to parang again, like, what are the things that matter? Like for us, it's like, do our kids feel loved for the day? Then okay na yun. Kasi minsan, ang dami tayo. And I'll admit, I'm the type of mom who sometimes you really feel like ang dami kailangan isipin. And will tell you that you have to think of all these things. And I admire people who are able to manage it and to do so well. Parang for me, again, like looking at yung mga artista, diba, parang it's a craft. Like I see other moms so well. And I wish I would be able to do that.
No, ako nga, mas authentic nga. Mas authentic nga yung pinopost ninyo than those people who hire talaga companies like to do it for them, production houses to do it for them.
Kaya kung may budget, why not?
Oo. Diba? Kung sa isang magandang lighting versus phone lang namin. Gusto namin yung magandang lighting.
I'm happy for that.
Yung sa inyo naman, raw pero yun, parang okay pa rin naman. I guess, yun yung parang kasi ngayon, grabe, people would really like pay for social media posts talaga.
I guess for me, parang kanya-kanya. Like I also appreciate those who professionalize it because there's also a lot of discipline and excellence in that. I mean, even if it's social media, it's also a new type of media. Like in the same way when we would do television, you want i-retouch ka kasi syempre kailangan fresh on cam or ayusin yung ilaw. Those diligent things that we used to do. Parang it's transition to social media. So when I see that there are young people who are really responsible, yung talagang
bibilib ka din.
Nila
pero yun nga, palagi ko sasabihin, huy, live life than yung iba kasi kapatid, gagawin talaga nila yung social media, unahin muna bago mabuhay.
I think Noel, I think it all boils down to parang what makes you happy. Yes. So if that's what makes them happy, then go. Parang for me, it makes me happy na hindi ako pangit dun sa picture ko na ipopost.
Pero hindi.
Ipopost ko siya.
Deliberate pa rin naman sa'yo. Okay, dapat masaya ka dun sa picture, pero meron kang understanding na, ay, hindi lang yan. Some people kasi experience their existence on social media. Yun lang yung doon. Parang there are moments in life. Yung pinakamasasayang moments niya sa buhay, hindi na wala naman doon, no? Talaga sa social media. Now, we go na. Few more minutes, but let's go to your sanas. Ano yung sana nyo para sa sarili nyo pa?
Sana matapos ng lahat ng ito.
Sabi ko nga sa Miss Universe, dapat yun yung final question eh. Pag tinanong ko kayo nun, how and when will we get out of this rut? How will you answer that? Candidate number 1, Patty Laurel-Filart.
Get out of this rut? I don't know.
How? What?
I guess for me, the sana, going back to your sana, is again, tracking back to like me and my husband and my kids. Like, sana pag naalala ng kids ko yung 2020 at saka 2021, hindi yung sakit or yung hirap.
The best family
but the things that we were able to do together as a family. Like even for me and Nikki and our friend Danny, like we always say, let's just take the photos kahit for us na lang. Kahit photo book namin. Kasi gusto namin, pag teenager nila at maalala nila yung pandemic, and this is like, it's going to be in the history books with all these terrible things. And they're going to read it. And they're going to say, wow, this was such a bad year. And then we'll have these photos to show them like, remember we did this.
But in our family we did this.
So it doesn't have to be something so big. I think for me it's that simple. Like, sana maalala nila lahat ng mga ginawa namin.
Ganda, no? Yung
May
flip
point
side. Yung flip side ng lahat. Na, di ba, parang kapit pa rin sa pag-asa kahit napaka-bleak and dark na nung nangyari. Next, ikaw, game. Sana mo pa. Right. We're so happy you're having a baby. Parang ang ganda, di ba, na testament na, in this time na yung death rates ang tinitignan, you're able to give birth to someone na ipapromise mo na ayusin namin yung buhay mo.
Great.
Oo. No, tama. No, totoo. Well, I agree with Patty. Like, for our kids, sana na matandaan nila tong period na to, not as a season of fear, but of, the bond of the family getting closer. And I guess parang it's so easy for us to just think of, sana maging maayos na ang buhay at makalabas na ako, maka-travel na ako. But really, parang sana those who were really gravely affected by this are able to survive it.
Yes.
Not just like health-wise, but financially and emotionally. Because, I mean, while we are going through our own little, pandemics in the home, parang syempre, yung iba is at a different scale. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Different to a different degree. So, ayun lang, sana we all manage to get out of this alive.
Get out of this, kapatid, na not just for ourselves, di ba? Parang it's beyond us. It's really beyond us. Now, going back, Patty, now, ano naman yung sana natin sa bansa? Yun, di ba? Parang now, parang our sense of community and nation is parang we so need national care. Parang if we actually run the country like we should be running our families, di ba yun naman yung root talaga eh. Kung may care dun sa pamilya, kailangan natin ng mas malaking care na ganun. So, ano yung sana mo for the country?
I guess it's parang hindi na tayo yung thinking, I'm better, I could do this better.
That's true.
If ako yan, ganito yung gagawin. And I'll admit
true.
sometimes I find myself in that situation kasi frustrated ka eh. Di ba?
Totoo.
You feel the impact
Survival,
of
no? Oo,
survival and you feel the domino effect of, bad decision making. And so that's a natural impulse to say that. But
brave siya doon, ha? Brave siya doon sa bad decision making.
Yeah,
and
but
bad communication, di ba?
To really have that malasakit for
Galing.
other people outside of your home. Like, are you taking care of your employees? Are you taking care of your staff? Are you giving them, a good life that they could also take care of the people around them? And that trickles down. So don't think that these small things go unnoticed, because there are many families who get affected by your decision making within your family. So it's the malasakit for your home, and then it extends and hopefully parang we encourage other people to think that way, di ba?
Tapos and yung tinuro pa rin ng Ateneo sa atin, no, na basically ang tao naman mabait, itatap mo lang yon, itatap mo lang talaga at magsama-sama lang yung lahat ng kabutihan. Meron makaka-create tayo ng mas malaking kabutihan. Next, ikaw naman, your hope for the country. Lalo emotional kasi nga, yan na naman, may baby ka, no? Parang gusto mong i-shield siya sa, anak.
Alam ko yung meme ng baby ko.
Deserve better.
Pilipinas Albert.
Diba? Parang you're wishing na I give birth to her to a better Philippines. But, I mean, I'm not gonna pretend that I know what's really going on, and I know that for me to actually have an opinion about this, I should be more research, but parang may pagod factor din kasi.
Tama, parang love story.
May pagod factor maniwala.
Parang kung pagod ka na, kung feeling mo hindi ka nagiging mabait, there's something wrong.
Yeah, and nakaka-frustrate lang kasi nga, what can you do at this point really? So I'd have to agree with Patty. Parang ako personally, what I'm doing now is on a smaller scale. So I make sure that the employees are, well, number one, employed.
Yes. At
and
next, at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So parang everything that's, within your na lang muna, your circle, and then you're just hoping that there will be like a ripple effect.
Yes.
But as wala, dasal na lang tayo pagdating sa
Divine
bigger,
intervention, di
sa
ba?
higher up.
Oo.
Oo, parang wala, ipasa Diyos na lang natin kasi talagang
kailangan.
Totoo. Pero yung sinabi mo na yun nga parang yung to keep things afloat at this point, yung ikaw din mismo, yung parang it's not the big thing. Yung parang to be able to bring out the goodness in people. There's so much hate, no? Ngayon, parang mag-reflect, parang and there's babalik
galit na
tayo
mga
dun sa
tao
galit at saka yung communications ba paiba-iba. Parang we were down to the least common denominator. Yung tipong imbis na hanapin yung spaces when we can work together.
Yes.
Nandun
Actually,
yung
that's also nice,
pagkakahati-hati.
Noel. Like, parang for me, like, what I really want to do is to do my, research for everything. Na you're well informed. So that when you approach a conversation, it's really to find something
common point.
As opposed to researching with the wrong intention of trying to find to
outsmart everyone.
Else. Like it shouldn't be like that. It's like we have to have that malasakit na both of us can find something that we can work together. So I know that I think hard, but it's the idea.
Yeah, I think din kasi parang we're past the whole representing opposing sides Wala na tayo dun Parang I think it's beyond that. It's like our people just need to live.
That's true.
The people just need to live. We're there.
And we have a common goal, so we should be parang aakayin natin yung bawat isa to surmount this one. Dapat yun na yung tipong hindi yung taking credit into something.
Yes.
Oh my God,
wala nang time. Not right now at least. Not in the middle of a pandemic.
And not politics. Ako talaga, not politics. It can't solve things. It really can't solve things. Ako at this point, it's really the common good. Tama yun, yung malasakit beyond. Looking for something beyond us. At kitang-kita mo, di ba, kung ang backdrop mo, sakit, kamatayan, survival, ang magsa-stand out sa'yo, people who offer you what? Kindness and compassion.
Yep.
Yes.
Kapatid, yung iba, tatanungin, bakit ka nagkaganyan? Ganyan. Sisisihin ka pa, ikaw kasi labas ka ng labas. Yung tipong instead of being solution-oriented already, na ito dapat. It's really more support that we need. Kaya parang ako, I guess yun nga yung isa rin, babalik tayo sa Ateneo Education. Ateneo Education is not about us, really. It's really, something beyond us. And lalo na now that we need so much yung national care. Yun, yung we go through that through our own ways, our families, our little systems nga kung mga trabahador natin, we be more humane. And the ending point is, marami tayong natutunan ngayong pandemic, pero baka kaya hindi pa tapos talaga yung pandemic kasi marami pa tayong dapat matutunan. yun yung
sabihin, Lord, natutunan pa na.
Okay. Lord, na lang, pa-tutor na lang ako after. Tapusin na muna natin to.
Gets ko na yung message nyo.
Makikinig ako after.
Kind intervention, surrender na kami, Lord, please.
Okay.
And what the Lord said, also, until we learn as a people, we will continue to suffer. Yun talaga parang, masakit na katotohanan, pero until yun dapat matuto tayo. Dapat talaga matuto tayo. And in a sense, yun nga, we take on the challenge of being nice. And yun, reaching out to people, this has been a good updating kasi yun nga, the pandemic has also taught us to reach out to people na ang tagal hindi makita.
Correct.
And yun talaga, parang ako, tumanda na tayo. At least may pinagkatandaan.
No, but I feel like this season of social distancing and physically distancing, we're much more emotionally connected. Like, I feel people are so diligent in making those emotional connections. And that's something I appreciate when I see it from friends and family. And so it's something I also want to do for others. So parang it doesn't have to be something big or like a big project that's so hard to do during this pandemic. Just making that one emotional connection for the day, that could be
one day at a time, no? Totoo yun. Next, final words. Galing. Ang gandang updating.
Final words. Ano ba? Well, thank you, Noel. So grateful to have had this chance to catch up with you and fellow Ateneans.
Hindi na intriga, hindi na pang headline. kundi more insights. Yun na tayo pag tumatanda.
Ganda. Correct. Tama naman. Sayang ang time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ano yung mga dadala mo pagtanda? Ano yung share mong mas maganda? Yung tipong gano'n na. And yung exercise nga ngayon, ilista mo yung mga tao mo na dadalhin mo hanggang pagtanda mo. And then reconnect and then nurture those relationships. At yun, maraming salamat sa inyo. Basta September 1 is always our reunion date. The earliest Christmas party.
Oh, really?
Zoom?
Zoom na ngayon. Wala kang...
Ito ba yung Christmas
breakfast basta
Christmas
September
ganap?
1. Oo. So, yun na.
Okay.
So, it will be a tradition already. And by that time, mommy can... dun ba? Have you delivered your...
Hindi pa.
Yes.
So, yun. So, maraming salamat.
Pero naka-off na siguro yung camera ko noon.
Ay, hindi. Diyos ko, mas maraming nakakabasa yun, no? At maraming nasasaka, no? Pero tanggap na natin kahit tsaka, no? Embrace the authenticity of people.
Correct.
So, no, but thank you really. Sabi ko nga sa kanila, mag-eavesdrop na lang kayo at kunin nyo yung mga magaganda. And thank you for leveling up with us this afternoon. Na-miss ko kayo and we'll nurture this kind of like connection and relationship hanggang pagtanda natin. Please, maraming salamat. Maraming salamat. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Noel.
Ay, dumaan lang pero ang saya. My God.
Okay naman?
Hindi lang okay pero na-miss ko kayo. Yung mga bata.
Di kailanman mapipigilan pagbuhos ng ulan. Ang buhay sadyang ganyan.
At kaya ng papago-pagong pag-ihip ng hangin. Lahat ay lilipas at magsasalita.
Huwag kang mabahala, huwag mataranta. Hindi kailangan ang mag-alilangan pa.
Isipin mo laging nandito lamang ang aking balikat, sa'yo'y nakaabang.
Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo
Tuwing nagdidilim ang langit, di ba't nagpapakita ang buwan hanggang mag-umaga na naman.
Tara't hintayin na natin
magsikat ng iyong araw
hanggang sa magliwanag muli ang lahat. Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo. Asahan mo, hindi ka iiwan sa mundo. Lahat may hangganan, asahan mo. Wala nang atrasan sa iyong bawat hakbang na pupuntahan. Pangako kailanman, agad akong nandyan. Sang tawag mo lang. Isang tawa